Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Ione Butler. I am the founder of Uplifting Content. I'm just going to give you guys a second to jump on the call. Also, my guest today, Gabby, and I are going to be sharing this live, so if that gives you like a second to do it too. We are giving away 5, maybe 6 copies of Gabby's book, Judgement Detox today. So don't be shy. Make sure you say hello. Make sure you comment. I love to actually have an engaging discussion on Facebook Live rather it just be about us. We want to get you involved. So do that. How did that go for you, Gabby? Did you manage to share it? So I'm just trying to...
I am going to do it right now.
Wunderbar. I am sharing too. So,
yeah.
Don't mind us, guys. We're just sharing. I hope you are sharing too. Make sure you say hello. Give us some love. So, Gabby, first of all, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
So good. So happy to be with you. So psyched that we're doing it.
Me too.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on your show.
My pleasure. I like to allow guests to introduce themselves really and just sort of share whatever you want to share about who you are or what you do or how you like to introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I am a motivational speaker and a self-help book author. I write spiritual self-help books. So the people who, most of my readers, I would say, are new spiritual seekers often, or people who have been on a spiritual path for a really long time, and they can meet this work right where it is. But I also like to perceive myself as kind of a can opener, cracking people open to a spiritual relationship of their own understanding and giving people a greater sense of connection to a practice of whether it be meditation or a practice of prayer or practice of relying on a higher power of their own so that they can start to see the world differently. And a big part of my work is really about shifting your perception so that you can shift your life. And I have 6 published books, working on my 7th right now. And this is it. This is my 6th book, Judgement Detox, which we're going to talk about today. And it's Release the Beliefs That Hold You Back from Living a Better Life is the subtitle of this book. And it's been out for a few weeks. So thanks for having me on. Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so excited. I was just saying, I'd read your book, The Universe Has Your Back, is one of my mantras in life. And so that's one of our uplifting clothing t-shirts. It's the universe saying, I got you. So
cute.
I'm super, super excited to learn more about Judgement Detox too. So incredible. From what I remember reading of The Universe Has Your Back, you weren't always this superstar, rock star, doing all these things and having all these businesses and things. What was your journey in life to kind of get where you are today? It wasn't just,
Yeah, no, I've been in this field of personal growth for 12 years now. Prior to that, I'm 38 now, so I started my career in this field at 25. Prior to that, when I was 21 to 25, I ran my own PR company. So I represented nightclubs and restaurants doing public relations for these very chic, high, fancy New York scene kind of vibe. And ultimately that lifestyle of being 21 years old, running a PR firm, being out all night, pushing and controlling, trying to make things happen in my life was a real bottoming out for me. And it was probably the moment of grace that was the catalyst for my greatest change and put me on the path of the work that I do today, because I was blessed to hit bottom at 25. And what happened was I was really looking for my happiness and my self-worth outside of myself. I got very addicted to work and relationships and drugs and alcohol. And at that time, when I was 25, I made a commitment to get sober. And in my sober recovery, I started to really pick up my spiritual faith and get grounded in what that meant to me. And very quickly began to teach what I was experiencing in my own world. And that's when I became a spiritual teacher, an author, and became really a voice for a new generation of seekers. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of the brief overview of how I got to where I am today.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said in your opening introduction too about just sort of being that beginner person for sort of spirituality, because I feel like we're all at different stages of consciousness. I'm a massive fan of The Power of Now and Eckhart Tolle, but not everyone's going to relate to him. There's some really amazing spiritual teachers and stuff, but not everyone's going to be there. And so just to be able to be somebody that gets someone on that journey is always really, really powerful.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's been a big part of a big intention for me, has been to really help people, be a bridge for people, and be a voice that is resonant and relevant and timely and modern, so that the principles that I'm teaching don't go over someone's head, but instead really touch them in a place where they can identify themselves in the message.
100%. And I think that's it, just making it understandable and easy to digest for people. You know, sometimes these types of teachings can be it's just very out there, and you're like, what the hell? So making it relatable and understandable is so important. So the book, Judgment Detox, can you tell me about, I'm already excited, getting over these beliefs. That's everything that's holding me back in life and always has done. So tell us about it, please.
Well, that's actually what I write about in the book, which is that our biggest block is judgment. Because whenever we're in a place of judgment, we're in a place of separation. And separate from the source of who we are, the truth of who we are, the inspiration within us, the point of attraction within us, the magnificence within us, is all blocked and diminished and weakened when we're in a state of judgment. And judgment is a pervasive issue that has, obviously, we've seen been magnified and amplified over the last several years, particularly recently, given the state of the world. So I knew that this was a very timely book. It had to come out now because we were in such divisive times. So the steps that I lead the reader through are steps of unlearning their belief systems of judgment through really understanding the wounds that live beneath those judgments and the patterns that live beneath those judgments. And I give the reader all these six beautiful, very profound practices of really transcending that judgmental pattern and treating it like an addiction. And really, because with like any addiction, we have to first be willing to change it and then take the necessary steps to create a new pattern in its place. So that's what this book is all about.
So very necessary and relevant. Just reading some comments. Roberta, we've got, yes, the law of attraction, and way to go, Gabby. You are inspiring and so strong. Guys, also, we're giving away 6 copies of Gabby's book. So if you're on the call, say hello, like, share, comment, ask some questions. I can't wait to read it. Carrie says, hi, ladies. That book sounds wonderful. Gabby, you're the best. Nadia says, hi, you two gorgeous women. Thanks. I'm excited to be on the call too. Can you give us like an example of one of these steps that to help deal with this judgment?
So let's just start with step 1, which is to witness your judgment without judgment. And the work in step 1 is really just starting to look at the patterns that live behind your judgments. So you'd ask yourself 4 questions. And the first question is, what or whom am I judging? So just get it out on the table, put it on the page. And then asking yourself, how does it make me feel? Because we have to look very closely at the feelings that live beneath that pattern. And the third question is, why do I feel justified? So often we feel very justified in our judgments because we want, and that's how we keep it alive often, because of the justification. And then the fourth question is, what experience from my past is triggering this judgment now? And this is probably the most important question, because it's those experiences from our past that are triggered, that maybe the moment that we were told we weren't good enough or smart enough. And when we feel that trigger come on, we will judge so that we project out what we don't want to feel within. And that's how this becomes an addictive pattern. So by asking yourself those 4 questions, you begin to get very intimate with what the pattern is, and you start to look more closely at the ways that it's holding you back. So it's a very powerful first step, and it's a necessary first step, because you can't really take any action towards healing anything unless you take the time to look at the behavior that lives beneath it and become very willing to heal it. We have to be willing to heal something in order to create change in our life.
Where did you, is this something that you teach as part of your programs? Where did this kind of, is this from like experience? Is it working with other teachers? Like,
you know, I've actually made, these methods came from my own personal practice and from a lot of my teachings have had many spiritual influences and teachers that have informed the patterns of the teachings that I bring forth. But a lot of these 6 methods are my own. I've incorporated in the second step a practice called emotional freedom technique, which is otherwise known as tapping. And that's a powerful tool for really healing the wounds that live beneath the judgments and the patterns. But a lot of but every step that's in this book has been created through my own practice of healing my own judgment. And so I joke around, but it's true that I actually write my books for myself first. because I got to be honest with you, I really need them. And then the reader gets to have the benefit of having my own, having me be able to say, I can stand behind this because I practiced it in my own world.
Yeah. I think, yeah. So people might perceive you as, you've got all these things going on, successful writing and business and all these types of things. How do you manage it? And what are the struggles, if any, and how do you deal with those?
I think that the biggest way that I've been managing the stuff that's going on is to hire good, smart people, and I'm hiring more. So I'm actively looking to build my team, because the only way to really live in your own art and to express your art fully is to surround yourself with people who can hold you in a way where you can really be the expression of what you're here to do. And so to grow my movement that I've created in the world, I need to have a team around me that believes in me and believes in the work that we are doing, the mission that we are on, and can hold me in a place where I feel safe enough to be free in the work and the expression of what I'm doing. So that's the key, truly. That really is
a good team.
Good team. Yeah.
Makes sense. And how do you deal with the kind of work-life balance? Is it easy to switch off? Would you say you have like a good balance? You've got enough time for you with all of these things that you're doing?
Yeah, I've been saying no to a lot of things lately. No is my favorite word. So lately I'm just a no, and I'm just creating more space. And I finished my book tour just last week. So I'm now taking a little bit of time to focus on my health and my well-being and personal goals and desires, and just getting out of the minutia of things. And I live most of the time in the country, so that's really helpful because I can go for a walk outside and be in nature. And then when I'm in the city for a minute, and I get a little hit of that, and then I can pull myself out of it again. So it's a good break to get out of.
So I speak openly a lot about depression. It's something that I deal with on and off, and just sort of the reason I like the sound of this book too is dealing with the thoughts, because that to me is the cause of a lot of my struggles and how to deal with those in a healthy way. When was there the last time that you dealt with something that was a struggle or a stress? And what are your kind of ways of processes of moving through difficult things?
Well, I've been dealing with something actually recently, and I love that this is a beautiful question and a very important question. And I've been dealing recently with something that's been a struggle, and I've had a lot of the wrong ways of dealing with it. So let's just talk about that first, which is to talk about it with everybody and to, obsess about it and to worry and create stories and go on the internet and find solutions on the internet, which there are no solutions that are beyond your own. And so trying to fix something. And I often teach that the presence of fear is a sign that you're relying on your own strength. So when I get spun out and I start to obsess about an issue that I can't control, the first step is to witness it, to really look at it and say, you're out, you're spinning out again. There you go again. Let's look at this. And then the next step is to really, take a beat and get myself back into alignment. And alignment with my feelings of peace, alignment with a higher power, just get back into alignment. And to realign, there's many things I'll do. I'll exercise, I'll meditate, I'll say a prayer, I'll do something I'll think a better thought. I'll just ask myself, what's a better thought than this? And I'll think a better thought to get myself back into alignment. And then from that place, I can take an action or ask for help or reach out to a friend. But if I'm doing all those action-based things from the place of worry, then it creates more chaos, truly. So I've been really in the practice of trying to live these principles and really just truly be the witness of my craziness and try to come back fast.
That's the thing. That's the downside. I would say that I'm a pretty conscious individual, and yet there are times where you're in a state of stress, and I just allow it just to I forget that. And so you're right. It's being able to see it, observe it, recognize what's happening, so that you're not so engrossed in it, so that from that place you can actually take action. When you believe that everything is it. When you don't even I don't know, I feel like sometimes when people are angry and they can't even recognize the reason for the anger, it's just, you're just so overcome with anger. And it's like, allow yourself to kind of witness what's going on. Why are these feelings? It's an insecurity, it's a fear, it's a something. give yourself that space. We got
Absolutely.
I got some lovely comments coming through. Worrying is like, this is from Carrie. Worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Yes.
Yep.
We had a quote of that. I like that one. Wow. I dig your thought process with those 4 steps. You absolutely have to acknowledge, understand, and take action. It reminds me of the quote involving the mind as well as conditioning, learning to unlearn some things you have learned. Congratulations, Gabby. We all need good, mindful guidance. Oh, Nadia, hello. In the end, our perception becomes our reality. However, this is not a universal reality. We end up believing our thoughts, judgments, and take our thoughts as facts. Yes. With your, what is your spiritual practice? Like, I'd love to hear a bit about that.
My spiritual practice is really designed to daily just keep me in that place of joy and alignment and connection. And so I would say that meditation is like the bedrock of my practice. And so I have a daily meditation practice. Exercise is a big part of my spiritual practice. Cooking is a part of my spiritual practice. A lot of people say that there's a spiritual part of their life. In my case, I just try to live a spiritual life and not leave it just for this one morning moment or this afternoon meditation, but to be engaging in my spiritual beliefs and faith all throughout the day is really the goal. Yeah.
With your meditations, now I know lots of people, it's great. It's incredibly helpful. What is your practice? There's different types. There's guided. Do you sit there and listen to, like, what's your thing? How does it work for you?
I do a practice of mantra-based meditation. So I repeat a mantra. It's transcendental meditation. And I do that for 20 minutes twice a day. And that practice is one of the best practices for lowering your cortisol levels and reducing stress and just coming back to a place of peace. And it's a crucial practice, I think, for me to stay in a consistent place of ease. Yeah.
I wish that more people would be, again, that's one of the reasons for Uplifting Content, is a place to find stuff that uplifts people, obviously, but then also we share stuff from incredible speakers and coaches and things like that. And this world that I'm in, like speaking to guests like you and some of the other awesome people that I speak to, guests, coaches, so authors, things like that. But not everybody, personal development, it's getting there. It's becoming a thing. Like, people are investing in themselves more and more now. And I want to encourage more of that. How much do you invest in yourself now still? So, you're this leader of people and are teaching all these things. What are you learning from? Where's your growth coming from? Is it all from yourself, which is incredible?
No. I have so many teachers, but I'm learning from life, truly. Like, every day it's an opportunity to grow, and every obstacle I see is an opportunity for growth and learning and healing. I have very profound spiritual teachers that I rely on for my own practices. And I also have many friends that are in my field that are great guides for me, who really keep me on track and show up for me. And I'm always learning, and I'm always in the pursuit of growing my own understanding and my own consciousness. So I think that if we're gonna grow spiritually, we have to stay a very humble student first, and that's my goal always, is to be a real student first.
Yes. Cool. Let's check out some comments and give away some books, because I know you've got another thing to get onto. Let me try and find some of these now. Whoa. Monjur says, if judging someone is harmful, then how are we allowed to judge ourselves? Aren't we doing harm to ourselves by judging? Yes, correct. So your book isn't about just judging other people.
Oh,
right?
no, it's equally about self-judgment as it is about judging others. That you apply it to both issues. It's the same thing.
100%. Jeff says, thanks for sharing good stuff to think about. Who have we got here? Oh, actually, I've read a lot of these.
Well, you can go back, and if other people come in, you can just like get their information. We can send them books if they want to share their experience or really, why don't we do this? Why doesn't everybody post below why they're ready to give up judgment? and we'll give books to the people that we feel have the best responses. That sounds like a good idea.
I think that's a fantastic
Okay,
plan.
good.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Cool. Well, I know that you have something awesome to get off to, so I will wrap this up here. Thank you so much for your time and giving away some of these books to people. I can't wait to read it as well.
Thank you, love. Thank you so much.
Lovely talking to you. Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.